Talked on here a lot that Minnesota fighting Vikings free safety Anthony Harris is the best coverage safety in the National Football League, and I absolutely love and adore him. The former UDFA coming out of University of Virginia, who's working his way up from their practice squad to the roster through special teams, eventually getting a shot 2018 to be a full-time starter. Then woo! Absolutely destroying it, killing it. And now, when the Vikings put the franchise tag on Anthony Harris at the beginning of the offseason, a lot of people thought that, hey, maybe they'll work something out long term. This is just a placeholder to keep him away from free agency. But the July 15th deadline came and went. And now you do have to wonder, is Anthony Harris going to be a Viking long term? Because where did the Vikes and Anthony Harris go from here? So Harris, this week, when he was asked about no long-term extension, he said this, quote, "In a dream world, you want the things to go completely your way, no hiccups or anything like that. But honestly, I wasn't worried about it. I've always just been saying my destiny, it'll come to me," end quote. So it is nice that it's a nice consolation prize that he's going to make $11.441 million this year for one season of work on the franchise tag for the safety. And also it's basically like 3x what he's made throughout his career. So it's awesome. It's quite a get for Anthony Harris. But also the fact that he turns 29 next season, I think that's what complicates things to a degree with him and the Vikings going forward. Because, yes, he has proven the last couple of years that he is one of the better safeties in the league. But also starting to get older. Yes, you can make that same case with Harrison Smith. But Harrison has done it for a longer track record. So you could see why the Vikings were potentially hesitant to dropping a 3-4 year deal upwards of 13, 14, 15 million dollars, which is the top end at the apex of the safety market at this time. So this is almost like a good compromise, because they obviously know that Anthony Harris has been a major player the last couple of seasons in their defense. He's a nice little linchpin. He's been the best coverage safety in the league, co-led the league last year with 6 interceptions, as well as Zimmer's pointed this out a number of times, where there's so many young bodies in that cornerback room that having 2 veteran safeties is extremely important, especially on the back end of that defense and coverage, as Anthony Harris is most of the time, as Harrison Smith operates quite a bit in the box. But Harris, 2018, third highest graded safety in the league at 89.0. Last year was the highest graded safety in the NFC at a 90.5. Only Jamal Adams was higher, as well as, like we said, tied for the NFL lead interceptions. Plus, he's really good in run support. Like I feel like his tackling is almost underrated and overlooked just because of how good he is in coverage. And he is the quintessential Viking success story of, hey, every single guy in that locker room, it does not matter if you're a late round pick or if you're unfreaking drafted, right? You can come in, you put in the work, you'll come up, and then eventually you'll be rewarded. As this is only the second time the Vikings have ever used the franchise tag on a player actually in season. So 2003, Jim Kleinsasser. 06, Chad Greenway, legendary linebacker for the Vikings, did get the tag, but they worked out a long-term deal before the start of the season. But could this be it? All right, so they're in the same situation as they were last year, except now if Anthony Harris, if they tag him again, that would add 20% raise to his 11.441 this year. So essentially you're paying 13 and some change for a one-year deal for safety. Is that ideal? Maybe not. As well as if they don't come to a long-term deal with Dalvin, maybe they want to hang on to that franchise tag and have that be an option as well. But also, with whatever the salary cap is going to be in 2021, the Vikings may have to pitch a couple of pennies here and there, because you have Dalvin either playing on the tag or a long-term deal. Brian O'Neill is going to be heading into a contract season, so maybe it's time that the Vikings extend him before he gets way too expensive. Hell, even Ifeadi Odenigbo, if Ifeadi comes in, blows things up, he's going to be RFA next year. Does it make sense to extend him long term while you can still get him on a team-friendly deal? That does make some sense. And also, Harrison Smith only has 2 years remaining on his deal. But like we said, they're in a similar boat when it comes to starting to age out. And yes, the Vikings can clear up some cap space. Stefan, Reef, Rudy, etc. Hashtag cap is a myth. But also, as this team progresses, like, can they really justify having 2 high-priced safeties on long-term deals? Right? We'll see. As well as, I think that the Vikings are starting to hedge their bets a little bit, are starting to estate plan, because they drafted Josh Metellus in the 6th, they drafted Brian Cole the 2nd in the 7th, and before you say, well, I mean, who cares about late round picks? Well, the upper mobility of Viking safeties has been enormous. Jaron Kearse was a 7th round pick. He became a very important part of this defense before leaving, going to Detroit for some reason. It's Detroit, man. Then also, of course, Anthony Harris, the UDFA. And then also the Vikings claiming Stephen Parker, who is a guy that the Vikings did like last year in the offseason, as well as working out veteran Jaleel Addae today, Monday, the former Los Angeles Charger. So maybe the Vikings are starting to plan like, all right, so if we can't hang on to Anthony Harris, maybe he signs somewhere else in free agency. We let him go. We don't tag him. No long-term deal. Vikings get a compensatory pick, likely a third or fourth round pick in 2022, and then move on with life. And then hopefully groom Metellus or Cole or Parker or even a day to take his place, and then circle life as it is, as a safety of the Vikings. But your thoughts, Anthony Harris, potential last season in purple, let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support that work, pull some of the Venmo. But until next time, Skull, production value.